All right, Rocket football fans, Crittenden County's coming off a huge win over Trigg County last week. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to visit with Coach Thompson about Caverna, a team we've never had any, much trouble with at all, and talk about some of the personnel changes that's necessitated by some injuries. So we're going to get started. Caverna comes in here, 1 win, 5 losses. Coach Thompson, and the only win they've got is against Little Shawnee, and that Little Shawnee hadn't won a game in several years.
So it's a long streak of losses.
So Caverna's really struggling. Prior to that win, 37 straight losses.
Yeah, Caverna's a team that there hasn't been a coach there stay there consistently historically. Coach Lashley, I don't know how he pronounces it, but he's a guy that's been there since 3rd season, and he seems to be sticking with it. You can just tell each year they've gotten a little bit better. It's a weird situation at Caverna. They kind of pull from different communities.
It's 2 counties, yeah. Hart County and Barron County.
Yeah.
It straddles the line, kind of Horse Cave is where it's at, and it's a long way over there.
Yeah, it is. Next year we'll have a trip on our hands. But they're a team that you can tell this year they've gotten better. They've returned a lot of the guys they had last year. They like to throw the ball around offensively, and defense they've gotten better as well. So it's one of those games where we should go out there and be able to take care of business pretty handedly, but it's also one of those trap games that if you don't, you're in a situation where you're playing with the team that you probably shouldn't be out there with, and when those teams get that confidence going, they start to play a little bit different.
Speaking of take care of business, we're going to take care of a little business right now. We're going to take a commercial break. All right, Coach Thompson, let's talk a little bit about the rankings. Somewhat of a sour subject right now, I guess you might say. The Rockets started the season, preseason in the top 10, worked your way up to number 5, and then ever since that loss to Union County, we've just stayed outside of the top 10. And we're 13th right now. If you look at the others receiving votes, it's not in the top 10, but that's where, if you count it down, we're 13th. And also 13th in the RPI, which is the one that's going to count at the end of the season, determine where we go if we make it to 3rd round playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, rankings mean absolutely nothing to us. I know that later in the playoffs it's meaningful, but as far as looking at where we're at in the standings, and I kind of felt this way when we were as high as 5, it really means nothing. You still got to go out and play the games. I think sometimes the rankings put a little more pressure on the kids than they need.
They pay attention to it.
They do, and it's because it's out there. They have access to it. They don't have to go pick up the newspaper to know and wait till, I guess, Wednesday or Thursday when the paper comes out. But they just have it at their fingertips, and but it really means nothing. The first 2 rounds of the playoffs, we can tell you who will be playing pretty close, and yeah. It is what it is. Round 3, we'll be going to play someone good. Yeah. That's all. That's what it comes down to. We'll be going to play a good football team, and we have to be a good football team by that time to be able to go and compete. And that's what it's all about. So you just got to make sure that we're where we need to be when that time comes.
All right. We're going to take another short break. We'll be right back and talk about this Rocket offense.
Ever since I was a child, I've loved land. I loved every land. My mother's father was a farmer. So that my granddaddy and his father was a farmer, and I spent my childhood's summers in coming to Kentucky and working on the farm, and everything from the smell of dirt to feeling it run the dirt go between your fingers. There's nothing like it.
I love option play.
Was that a 42 speed option?
Are you looking for a banking option?
Sequence, double card union.
Coming to Marion soon.
5 regular season home games, at least 2 home playoff games, at 8 touchdowns per, 56 touchdowns. That's a lot of booms.
Cash back, please.
25 cents.
I need to cash this, please.
25 cents.
Cash back, please.
25 cents.
Hunter, why are you shortchanging the customers?
At this window, all you get's a quarterback.
All right, Coach Thompson, let's get to talking about this offense. Last week, we had a different kind of offense that showed up. rushed for 421 yards, 7th all time, about 60 yards from breaking the school record for rushing in a single season game. Had we not had some of those penalties, we'd have gotten it. So, but we don't want to forget that this team is still a passing oriented offense, still running the spread, but we can now go and punch people in the mouth with that running game.
Yeah, for sure. We knew we had a good running game. We knew that our line has been good all year. When, coming into the season, that was the biggest question mark. We returned a lot of skilled guys that with experience, and the line, had a few guys return, but the young guys stepping up and filling those roles. But from the jump in the scrimmages, we've been able to run the ball, so we never worried about that. But what last week came down to was we were in a place where football wasn't that exciting to the guys. You can just tell the way they were carrying themselves. And then what Trigg presented defensively, where their defensive box never changed. They're going to have 7 men in the box regardless of what you did. So, we started to bring 1 in, bring 2 in. And eventually we got to 11 guys in the box, and they still had those same 7. When you're going to do that defensively, you're just outnumbered. So it was about bringing the passion back to football, and those guys being excited about little things. You just saw them excited to watch the receivers run around and not get balls, and jumping for joy, chest bumping out there for 8, 9, 10-yard gains over and over again. It brought the passion back. It made it about playing for each other. So that's something that we knew we had, and we'll continue to run the ball. Well, to continue to take what teams give us, and that's what we take pride in, is being able to take what teams give us. But we talk about getting late in the year in the playoff. We're gonna have to be able to do both. So we do have to get better throwing the ball, and I think we have all the tools to do it. We just got to make it through a game effectively.
Well, certainly Hunter Jones, our quarterback, had a good game. He didn't complete a lot of passes, but I thought he was on target more. He looked more comfortable in the pocket than he did. He had a tough game against Union County. There's no other way to explain it. But he came back and showed a lot of poise in the pocket, and when he had the ball, ran the ball hard too. And we have to remember that he has over a 45% passing percentage completions for completions, and that's among the top 10 all time in Rocket football, and he's number 10 on the passing touchdown list, and he's only played a few games.
Yeah, Hunter came in and he really led us last week, and that's what each week I try to get him to do, try to get him to understand. You don't have to do more than lead us. That's his job. To lead us. And a lot of times he comes off the field wondering why I'm upset, and it's just that leadership role. He made great decisions.
But you talk to him very kindly when he comes off the field in those situations. It's hard to believe he would.
Yeah, more times than not, I'm very kind to him. It's really hard to play quarterback for me. The expectations.
It's hard to play quarterback for anybody, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
it's
you're
a
the
tough
guy.
position. And you hear kids all the time talking about I want to play quarterback.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. It doesn't matter how far you can throw a ball, or how hard you can throw a ball, or how accurate you can throw a ball. You got to be able. There's so much more to it. It's just a tough position to play. He's doing a really good job for the most part, coming in there and filling that role and getting everything that we need out of him. There's some times where he puts a little more pressure on himself than he needs to, and that's where he struggles. But Friday night he came out, he led, he was very efficient. And what he needed to do. The plays, those 50-50 balls didn't go our way on Friday night, but Trigg County plays great man coverage. You got to give them credit. They're a good football team. But he put the balls there for those guys in those 50-50 situations where we had a chance. And it's not like he's out there throwing a bunch of interceptions or anything. He put the ball where it needs to be, where the receiver makes a play, then the story changes. The narrative's different. We're talking about something else this week.
And this may be a good opportunity this week for him to get back on track throwing the ball against Caverna. We've never really thrown the ball much against him. Nick Costiller, I think, holds the record with like 121 yards passing against Caverna in any games we played against them. So a lot of times we just dominated this game early and then just
in short fields oftentimes. We'll go out there and we'll take what they give us. They play a 4-2-5 defense and sit in cover 3. So there's some things that you can attack with the ball in the air and with that defense, and we just got to make sure that we make the plays when they present themselves. So I'm very confident in Jonesy's ability to do that. He looked really good this week in practice. It's probably the best he's looked in practice. Going back to June or June time before he broke his hand, he looked really good.
I would say he knows that he had a pretty good game last week. And it's just spilling over into the week of practice.
Yeah, it's for as much as I get onto him, he's a pretty strong-minded kid to be able to take it the way he does. He's learned that I'm going to be me. And that's the biggest thing that the quarterback in Creighton County to learn. Coach Thompson's going to be Coach Thompson, and he's going to get me sometimes. Even when I always go back to last year, me and Hunter Boone had a nice little heated battle at Ballard Memorial about two different things. He just thrown a touchdown pass, and I'm trying to get him to go, go, and he's sitting there talking, I can't hear what you're saying, and we're arguing, and it looks bad, but really it's just, I'm not getting him. I'm just trying to get him to go. Let's go. And Hunter Jones has learned that, okay, he's going to say what he's got to say. I just need to take it and then just go play the next play, because the next play I could be smiling. And, he's getting better with that.
All right, well, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Rick Hughes at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem, Kentucky, home of Rocket Golfers.
Hey, Rocket football fans!
Let Rommel Ellington tackle your dirty ride.
Here at H&H, we've got just about anything that it takes to get you back out on the field.
Welcome to Hometown Chiropractic. I'll be right with you.
From our team to yours, we're behind you all the way, Rockets. Par 4 Plastics, where people make the difference.
All right, we're back. We're going to talk a little bit about our front line on offense. Last week, we had a number of guys run the football and did very well. Several players over 40 yards, and then we had Xander Tabor, who had 201, his season high. So, that's predicated by what happens up front, Coach Thompson, and the only thing that's concerning now is just as that group is starting to really play well, we're starting to get some of those injuries, and so you're going to have to retool a little bit this week.
Yeah, with Ian getting hurt in the game on Saturday, that's a big hit for us, because he's kind of he's our leader up front. He's our guy that we depend on to be able to run behind or be able to make the kick out, just to be able, when we need to play, the guy to go at. And we don't know yet what the verdict is on his knee, but we know that he's already had issues in there, so it can be bad. Or it could be just, it could be good. There could be a best case to this, but we already know there's issues in the knee. So we won't see Ian this week, and hopefully he gets a good report from the doctor. But with that, that's moving another guard in, and this week we've had some other injuries. Ben Evans had an injury last week, so he's kind of hobbled right now. So we've spent this week working on, if he's not in there, who's going to play center. And Tucker Sharp is a guy that can snap the ball, as well as Zach McGahan snaps in there. He probably snaps it. He probably got the best snap out of all of them as far as placement and velocity and getting it there. But it's just being able to be the whole package and make all the blocks. He's a smaller guy, but he's great technique. He's a guy that we could see this week. We moving Noah McGowan in with the Ian injury. One more guard goes down. We need another tackle, so we'll keep Yates inside, who, surprise, he's got a stomach bug this week. Him and Noah both have had stomach bugs this week, so we don't know how much they'll be able to go on Friday, but both of those guys will be on the line on the right side. And then you got some young guys stepping up. Counts might see the Counts kid play some inside and outside. And you might also see Case Goldman come in and play some tackle. He's a guy that's been...
And Deacon Holloman's been coming on,
Yeah,
but you mentioned that he had a little injury this week in practice.
Yeah, Deacon, he had a little knee injury. We'll know more. He's going to the doctor today. We'll know more about what happened with him, but it didn't look good. The way he fell didn't look good. So hopefully everything ends up okay with him. But he was a guy that was starting to play really well, and a guy that would, especially on defense, depending on defensively, to be able to come in and be in that group, that rotating group. But you know, injuries happen. You're at that part of the year where everybody's beat up. Right. You know, we just got to get as healthy as we can get and go fight each week.
You know, personally, I felt coming into the season that we were a little thin up front. Yeah. I just didn't feel like we had a whole lot of depth there. But,
surprise.
But it's built, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it really has. You were always confident it was there.
You know, every year you go into it, kids will surprise you. You'd be surprised with what happens when they get an opportunity to be out there. They'll make the plays that you teach them to make, and that's what it comes back down to, is making them believe in what they're doing. Because when they believe in what's going on, they'll go all out and you get everything they have. You know, we got a lot of guys that can play up front, and they're going to have to play because this is where we're at this point, and we'll go with who we got.
All right, if we're going to run the football like we did last week, those guys are ever important. So we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back and close out the show.
T-Bone, good luck this week.
Thank you. Good luck this week, Titan.
Boys, we got to know what the game plan is this week. We're banking on you.
Through the week, we are welding and fabricating. On Friday nights, we are grinding it out with the Rockets. Touchdown, Rockets!
Since 1973, Hodges has been equipping Rockets and Rocket fans with gear and apparel. Come see us! We'll see you Friday night at the football game.
Hey Kelly, it's almost Friday.
And we'll see you at Rocket Stadium.
All right, Coach Thompson, we're going to get to our trivia question. Last week was a real stumper.
Anybody get it?
Finally got a correct answer by the player's mother. Was the only one who could get it right. The answer was Brian Berry, and he was the guy that rushed for 1,000 yards, passed for 750, and had 250 yards or more receiving. So pretty tough question. Andy Hunt, our historian, is really doing a good job of coming up with some tough ones. So this week's trivia question, remember, if you have the answer, go down to H&H Home and Hardware, tell them the answer, and if you're correct, you'll get a free round of golf at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem. This week's trivia question: what milestone will be reached for Crittenden County High School football program if the Rockets win out the rest of the regular season? So there's something that's going to happen. There's a plateau we're going to get to, a statistical plateau in something. We'll let you figure that out. So it's a pretty big deal. No, I'm not going to give you any hints because you guys are they're too good at this.
Yeah,
some of them.
Don't give them any hints.
Yeah,
we got to get some other people in there. And these same guys waiting for this trivia question. Yeah. They like to play a lot of golf.
Yeah. Jeremy Dempsey and Jason Hatfield. They tell me they're camping out at H&H in the parking lot overnight to see who can get there when the doors open. So those guys, hey, we appreciate everybody that participates in it. And don't forget, Boots for Bucks this week. We haven't had anybody get kick a field goal yet. We've moved them in a little bit. So if you want to give that a shot, go online to the Crittenden Press Facebook page and look for the Whitetail Properties, Mark Williams, for the little promotional about the Boot for Bucks. And if you can go out on the field, you kick it, you get $100 from Whitetail Properties, and his football team will get $100. So we need people to participate.
I hear there's people out there practicing, so we just got to make sure that
it's a random drawing.
We got to get them in there, and we got to get them pulled. If there's people practicing, I need that $100.
All right, Coach Thompson, let's close out the show. We'll talk a little bit about Caverna. This is, what really sticks in my mind always about Caverna is this is where the Doyle boys went to high school. Now, they're probably beyond your generation, but the Doyle brothers were baseball players, professional baseball players, and they are the guys that really started baseball clinics. They would go all over the country, but that's where they're from. A lot of you older viewers may remember the Doyle brothers baseball clinics.
I have no clue.
Caverna, the quarterback's pretty good. He throws it around. He runs. A lot of what we expected coming in last week.
Yeah, he's really good at extended plays. He's really big. He might be bigger than what we saw last week in Cam Jordan, but he throws it well. He has a couple receivers that'll go catch it. They're better than they've been, offensively especially. So we have to make sure that we keep him from running wild on us and then making big plays down the field, extending them. So it's a big task for the defense when you got teams like that can just go out there with that gunslinger mentality, and they do. They kind of that's what they live off of. They've been able to move the ball on every team they've played, which is that's better than the past. It's just a improvement. They're older. They're older. It's the same guys that we saw last year, and they got them a win. So there's some confidence there. We just got to come out and do what we're supposed to do and take that confidence away early, and not allow them to get anything going. And when you're a good team, that's what you do. So in order for us to consider ourselves a good team, we have to be able to go out and do that on weeks like this. So we got to make sure we do that, and then offensively, we got to make sure we do our job and believe in what we're doing and move the ball. Don't get behind the sticks. We're not a very good team when we get behind the sticks. We get a lot of penalties, and even last week, you look at the second half, that kind of snuck back in on us, get penalties early in drives and get behind the sticks. We're terrible on third down, unless it's third and short, 4 or less, So we just got to make sure that we do our job every play and not get behind the sticks offensively.
Now, we talked about the offense and some of the personnel changes due to injury. Where are we at on defense? Is everybody good?
Outside of the guys that we mentioned, I can't think of.
But a lot of those guys are not starters on defense, but they participate. Some of them.
Outside of Deacon and then Yates and Noah with their stomach bug, but by Friday I'm sure they'll be okay. Yeah.
So we're good. Everybody's healthy and ready to roll and go get this first district win. We open our district play at home against Caverna and hope to see the same electricity we had last week. Fall break, a lot of people out of town, Coach.
Yeah, that's okay, but the people that are here need to come out and join the party. As you can see, when the people don't like coming to Crittenden's, that's the first thing Trick coach said when they step on the field. Coming here is different. Hate playing here. It's just different. It is a tough place to play because you sit there and you're wondering, the wheels are coming off, and everybody's having the time of their life while you're in this
12th man. We love it that way.
And we want to keep building it. We want teams to continue to say they hate coming to Crittenden County and play. It really does make a difference, especially as we get into the playoffs. So.
All right, kickoff 7 p.m. It's pink out. Wear your pink. And it's also recognition of first responders. So if you're a first responder, sign up there at the gate and you'll be recognized at halftime. Coach Thompson, let's go get that first district win.
Yes, sir.
I'm Darren Tabor, Homestead Auction Realty. Let us get you across the goal line with a new home.
You go in the game this week, you're going style, Rocket fans. Come by Max 2 Custom Kit and Detail for a $15 wash.
Full Body Fitness, training Rockets and Rocket fans since 2006.
Everything in this country was built from the ground up, and it starts with land. When I can go out and take somebody onto a property and see that gleam in their eye when they find a farm that they fall in love with because they're as passionate about land as I am, that's when the magic happens. That's what makes what we do so great. There's no dollar amount. There's nothing else that can compare to the look you get when somebody signs on that dotted line and their dreams have come true about owning land.